Bhargav.
Madam.
Okay.
Madam.
Is my voice audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there any disturbance?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Actually, in the previous class, I started the topic properties of probability. Okay. What are the properties of probability? Already, I discussed 4 properties. We have again remaining three properties we have to discuss now. Okay. Fifth. What is the fifth property? Is the screen visible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. For any two events, capital A and capital B, P of A is equal to P of A intersection B plus P of... Please don't write anything on the screen. Okay, for any two events, fifth property, for any two events, capital A and capital B, P of A is equal to P of A intersection B plus P of A intersection B bar. So how can we explain this property? We have two events, capital A and capital B. We want the probability of occurring A only, event A only. So here I am drawing two circles to indicate capital A and capital B. Okay. So here we want the probability for event A. How can we get probability for event A only? First circle indicates A, second circle indicates B. There is intersection part. There is a common part for the two events A and B. Okay, first circle is event A, second circle is event B. Second circle is event B. So what is the common part for two events, capital A and capital B? This is the common part. Okay, we want the probability for the event A. So how can we get this? Only A. What is the portion to indicate only A? I am shading the A region. Probability of occurring only event A. Okay, the shaded portion indicates the event A. Mute yourself. All of you mute yourself. Participants, please mute yourself. I have given the option to unmute yourself, but don't unmute yourself now. If you want to talk anything, then only unmute yourself. Okay. So here, what is the probability of getting A only? Only A. Okay. So here A means the entire circle, the entire first circle belongs to A only. Okay. So we have to add two regions. What are the regions? First one is probability of A intersection B, and second region is probability of A intersection B bar. Okay. So to indicate the event A, we have to combine, we have to add two regions. What are those two regions? First one is common part. Okay, common part for both A and B, because that in that common part A is also present. So you have to consider this common portion, and in addition to this common portion means this one. Okay, I have darkened this area. This is common portion. In addition to this common portion, we have to add this shaded portion also. This shaded portion is also called A minus B. Already I explained you in the previous class. Okay, today I will share the material for first unit. In that you can see the definitions and everything. Okay, so this shaded region is called A minus B. This is already explained. This was already explained in the previous class. And this A minus B is also called as A intersection B bar. What is meant by B bar? Complement of B. Complement of B means there is no B in particular area. So in the shaded area, there is no B, isn't it? In the shaded area, this one. In the shaded area, there is no B. But where is B? B is present in the common portion, and here say in the second circle also B is present. Okay. So here probability of A can be calculated by adding two probabilities. What are the two probabilities? Probability of A intersection B. A intersection B means common portion for both A and B plus probability of A intersection B bar. A intersection B bar is also called as A minus B. Okay. Probability of A intersection B bar. A intersection B bar is also called A minus B. A minus B can be indicated in this shaded portion. In this shaded portion only. Okay. So already I have drawn the horizontal lines in this area only. A minus this area is called A minus B. Okay, which one is also known as A intersection B bar. Okay, so all of you see the fifth property. Once again I am telling what is the probability of getting an event A. Okay, here A means for getting the probability of A, we have to add two probabilities. First one is probability of A intersection B. A intersection B means this is the common portion. A intersection B means this is the common portion for both A and B, which is also known as A intersection B. Okay, we have to consider this portion plus in the first circle, some portion is already covered in the common part. Now, whereas the remaining portion can be written as A minus B, or you may call it as A intersection B bar. Okay, in two ways you can mention the this one horizontal lines we have. I have drawn here. This area is also called as A minus B, or you may call it as A intersection B bar. So by combining these two probabilities, we will get the probability for event A. Okay, which means the first circle. Okay, is it clear? To calculate the probability of event A, we are adding two probabilities. First one is the probability regarding the common portion. Common portion means A intersection B. Okay, which is the area which is common for both A and B. Whereas the remaining portion, this entire first circle belongs to A only. Already this common portion is covered here, whereas remaining portion can be written as A minus B, or you may call it as A intersection B bar. Okay, you have to remember one point. B bar means complement of B. There is no B in that particular area. In this shaded area, there is no B. Only this one represents A only. There is no B in this area. Okay, so you have to add these two probabilities to get the probability of A. Guna, tell me. Unmute yourself.
Sorry, ma'am, by mistake, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Next, let us see the sixth property. Joint probability of two events A and B. Joint probability of two events A and B is given by probability of A union B is equal to probability of A union B is equal to probability of A plus probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. Okay, this is also called as addition theorem on probability. This theorem is this property is also called as addition theorem on probability. This can be proved in this class only. I am going to prove. So you need not to worry about the sixth property. Now let us see the seventh property. Probability of A bar intersection B is equal to, how can we write this A bar intersection B? Okay, A bar intersection B. Here see this, A bar means complement of A. A bar means complement of A. Complement of A means in this particular area, there is no area which belongs to capital A. Okay, so A bar intersection B means probability of occurrence of B only. Already I have written one sentence here. Probability of A bar intersection B. Okay, in this A bar can be written as probability of occurrence of B only. Okay, we have to consider the area of B only. We should not consider the area which belongs to capital A, because here it is given that A complement. A complement means it should not contain the area, it should not contain the area of A, or the portion of A must not be contained here. This can be written as probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. To explain this, I am going to draw the diagram so that you can easily understand. I am drawing two circles here. Okay, first one is, first circle belongs to A, second circle belongs to B, and this is called common portion, which can be written as A intersection okay. So this common portion is called A intersection B. First circle belongs to A, second circle belongs to B. So how can we explain this property? By using this diagram. We want the probability of occurring B only. We have two events A and B, but we want the probability of occurrence of B only. B only. Remember this point. So here only B means it should not contain A, because it is given that A complement is given. So it should not contain A only, it should contain B only. So here B means second circle. From the entire second circle, you have to subtract one portion. What is that portion? Common portion. This common portion you have to remove. This common portion you have to remove from B. Okay, so after removing this common portion, you will get the remaining portion. This is called probability of occurring B only. Okay, so probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. Probability of B means this entire second circle. From the entire second circle, we are subtracting the common portion. That means we are removing this common portion. The remaining portion becomes this shaded area. This is called, this portion we may call it as A bar intersection A bar intersection B, or we may call it as B minus A. Okay, so this shaded area is called as, can be called as A bar intersection B, or we may call it as B minus A. Okay, that means from B we are subtracting the portion of A. Okay, portion of A is included in this common portion, that's why we are subtracting. Okay, from this B means this entire second circle is B only. From this entire second circle, we are subtracting this common portion, A intersection B. So after subtracting that common portion, we will have only this shaded area. Okay, this shaded area. Here I am drawing on a vertical line also. Okay, this shaded area is called as A bar intersection B, or we may call it as B minus A. Okay, so this area can be called as A minus B. Already I explained the definitions, difference of sets. Okay, this portion is called A minus B, this portion is called B minus A, whereas this one is common portion. Okay, so while calculating A minus B also, we have to neglect this common portion. Similarly, while calculating B minus A also, we have to neglect the common portion. Okay, I think it is clear. Do you have any doubts regarding this? Okay, sixth property can be explained later. No, you need not to worry about that. Just see the fifth and seventh properties. If you have any doubts, you can ask me now. Okay. Do you have any doubts? Anyone, please respond. Anyone can respond. Shall I proceed? Anyone can respond. Is my voice audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Shall I move on to next definition?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Fifth property and seventh property both are explained here with the help of diagrams. Okay. So each and every portion is mentioned here. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Okay. In the fifth property, we are calculating probability of A. Probability of A means this entire first circle belongs to A only. So here we have to add two probabilities. First probability is regarding common portion. Second probability is regarding the remaining portion of the remaining shaded portion, that is the remaining portion of A minus B. A minus B can also be called as A intersection B bar. Okay. Next, if you see the seventh property, probability of A bar intersection B is equal to probability of B minus probability of A intersection B. Okay. Here, B means the entire second circle belongs to B only. Okay. From this entire second circle, we are removing or neglecting the common portion. After neglecting this common portion, we will have this shaded area only. I have drawn vertical line here to indicate that. So this region is also called as A bar intersection B, or we may call it as B minus A. Okay. Remember this point here. This shaded area is called as B minus A or A bar intersection B. Here in the fifth property, this shaded area is also called as A minus B, or we may call it as A intersection B bar. Okay. So actually in the previous class, we started the definitions of probability. Okay. First one is axiomatic definition. Second one is relative frequency definition. Third one is classical definition. So according to first one, axiomatic definition, we have three axioms for probability. All the three axioms are were discussed in the previous class, and properties of probability are also discussed. So first one is completed. Now let us move to next definition, relative frequency definition. So here, how can we define probability according to relative frequency formula? Okay. Consider a random experiment that is performed n times. For example, if we consider a random experiment and it is repeated for n times, okay, under same condition or under different conditions, whatever may be the condition, so we have to repeat the random experiment n times. Okay. Already in the previous classes, I explained the difference between deterministic experiment and random experiment. We already knew the difference between deterministic and random experiment. So what is meant by random experiment? The random experiment can be repeated any number of times, but before conducting the experiment, we cannot judge or we cannot decide the outcome of an experiment. Okay, for example, if you toss a coin, the head may appear or tail may appear. We don't know which one will appear before tossing the coin. Okay, that is called random experiment. That type of experiment we have to consider here, and it has to be repeated n times. Okay, if an event A occurs n of A times, then the probability of event A can be written as P of A is equal to limit n tends to infinity n of A by n. Okay, here in the particular random experiment that is being repeated for n times, you have to consider event A. Okay, you have to consider the event A that is repeated for n of A times. Okay, so the relative frequency definition can be written like this. P of probability of A is equal to limit n tends to infinity. What is meant by this n tends to infinity? The random experiment can be conducted any number of times. Okay, so there is no end or there is no limit for that. You can conduct the random experiment, you can perform the random experiment any number of times. So infinite number of times we can perform that experiment. So limit n tends to infinity we have to write. Okay, so n of A by n. Here the ratio n of A by n is the relative frequency of event A. Relative frequency of event A. Okay, so this is a relative frequency definition. This is not that much important. So just you have to remember that point simply. Okay, theory only. Next, classical definition. So axiomatic definition, relative frequency definition, two definitions are completed for probability. Now I am going to discuss classical definition. So according to classical definition, the probability can be defined as the ratio of number of favorable outcomes by total number of possible outcomes. The formula is given for you. You can write the definition in your own way. Okay, so you need not to write as it is. Based on the formula, you can frame the sentence. Probability of event A can be written as number of favorable outcomes by total number of possible outcomes. This is called classical definition. Okay, so here examples are also given for you. What is meant by favorable outcome? This term was also explained in the previous class. What is meant by favorable outcome? For example, if you throw a die has 6 faces. Already you know that one. Okay, so if you throw a die, which number will appear? Okay, we have 6 possible outcomes for that experiment. If you throw a die has 6 faces, so any number may appear if you throw a die. So for example, if you want to get an odd number, what are the odd numbers? Actually, the numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the numbers. But if you want to get the odd number, here odd number is favorable outcome, favorable event. Here the odd number is our favorable event. Favorable event means our required thing. Okay, so what are the odd numbers in those 6, 1, 3, 5? So the number of favorable outcomes are 3. 1, 3, 5, 3 numbers. The number of favorable outcomes becomes 3 and total number of possible outcomes becomes 6. 3 by 6 becomes 1 by 2. Okay, if you want to get the even number after throwing a die, getting an even number is favorable outcome. So how many even numbers we have? 2, 4, 6. So we have 3 favorable outcomes and total number of possible outcomes are 6. So 3 by 6 means again we have 1 by 2. So those examples are already explained here. First example is, second example I have explained now. When a die is thrown, the possible outcomes are 6. Already we know that one. Okay, if the event is an odd number, okay, that means our required event is getting an odd number. How many odd numbers we have? 3 odd numbers, 1, 3, 5. Then the favorable outcomes becomes, number of favorable outcomes is equal to 3. Probability of A is equal to number of favorable outcomes by total number of possible outcomes. You will get 1 by 2. Okay, so here in the first example, when a coin is tossed, the possible outcomes are 2 only. So the total number of possible outcomes are 2 for this experiment. If the event A is showing heads, then the favorable outcome is 1. That means if you want to get head, if you want to get the head after tossing a coin, then the favorable outcome is 1. So P of A becomes 1 by 2. If you want to get the tail after tossing a coin, then again favorable outcome is, number of favorable outcomes is 1 only. So in that case also, P of A can be written as 1 by 2 only. Okay. So this is called classical definition. Very, very easy and important definition also. So the number of favorable outcomes by total number of possible outcomes is the formula for calculating the probability according to classical definition. Next, let us start addition theorem on probability. Actually, this statement is present in properties of probability. That is the sixth property, I think. So what is the addition theorem on probability? Statement: if A and B are two events, associated with a random experiment, then P of A union B can be written as P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. P of A union B is equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. From the statement, we can understand clearly. Actually, we know what is meant by A union B. A union B means we have to consider each and every element in set A and set B. Okay. Or we have to consider both events A and B. A union B means combination of two events. Okay, you have to consider each and every object or each and every element in both A and B. Okay, so the entire portion of two circles is nothing but A union B. This can be written as P of A plus P of B. That means probability of A plus probability of B. That means first circle and second circle. We are added the corresponding probabilities P of A plus P of B. So from those two circles, we have to subtract probability of A intersection B, because this is covered two times. While considering the first circle also, this common portion is covered. While considering the second circle also, this common portion is covered. So this common portion or common elements are covered twice. That's why you have to subtract once the common portion. Okay, let us prove. Okay, just I am explaining the sentence statement. We can prove this one. Proof is also given here. Proof is also given here. In the first circle, the shaded area can be written as A intersection B bar. This in the first circle, this shaded area can be written as A intersection B bar. In the second circle, this shaded area can be written as A bar intersection B. Okay, A intersection B bar is also called as A minus B. A bar intersection B is also called as B minus A. Okay, according to difference of sets concept. Anyhow, the first shaded area is A intersection B. Second shaded area is A bar intersection B. How can we define A? How can we define an event A? Observe the circle, first circle. A can be written as this shaded portion plus this common portion. Okay, so this shaded portion is A intersection B bar. Bhargav,
Madam.
is my voice audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Someone is calling my number, that's why I'm asking. Okay. Here the first shaded area is A intersection B bar. Next, the common portion is A intersection B. After combining these two portions, you will get A. So A is equal to A intersection B bar, first shaded area, union. That means you have to combine with A intersection B, this common portion. Okay. So first, to get the first circle, you have to consider the shaded portion and common portion. That is what written here. So how can we calculate probability for this event A? P of A is equal to, you have to apply probability on both sides, on both LHS and RHS. Okay. So here A means you have to consider the first circle, entire first circle. This entire first circle is divided into two portions. First portion is this shaded portion. Second portion is common portion. Okay. So A intersection B bar union A intersection B. First shaded portion and this common portion is combined here. So that is A, which indicates the first circle. You have to apply probability on both sides. So after applying probability, you can add the terms. Probability of A intersection B bar, that means probability of first term, plus probability of second term. Probability of first term plus probability of second term. Okay. Next, see the next circle B. So B can be written as, B means second circle. This entire second circle represents B only. This entire second circle represents B only. This entire second circle is B. Now you have to divide this B into again two regions. First region is this shaded region. Second region is this common region. Okay, so B can be written as combination of two portions. First portion is joint shaded portion, that is A bar intersection B. Next portion is A intersection B. So you have to find the combination of these two. Again apply probability on both sides. Probability of B is equal to probability of A bar intersection B union A intersection B. Okay. Here union means after applying probability you can add the two terms. So this can be written as probability of A bar intersection B plus probability of A intersection B. Okay, similar to the previous one, here also we have got one expression. Okay, here we have got the expression for P of A. We have also got the expression for P of B. Okay, so let this be equation number 1. Here the numbering is not given for these two expressions. Let this be equation number 1 and let this be equation number 2. Add these two terms, that means P of A plus P of B. P of A plus P of B. You have to add the first expression and second expression. So P of A plus P of B is equal to P of A intersection B bar plus P of A intersection B plus P of A bar intersection B plus P of A intersection B. Okay, so we have got four terms. P of A plus P of B. After adding the probabilities of event A and probability of event B, we have got four terms. Okay. Observe the first three terms. First term is probability of A intersection B bar. Probability of A intersection B bar means this shaded area. Probability of this shaded area. Okay. Plus probability of A intersection B. That means probability of this common portion. Plus probability of A bar intersection B means this second shaded area. So these three terms cover the entire A and B. Okay, there is no missing portion. So from the above figure, these three portions, combination of these three portions can be written as A union B. So probability of A union B. Probability of A union B. This entire addition of three terms can be written as probability of A union B. Because if you see the diagram, A intersection B bar, A intersection B, A bar intersection B. These three areas cover the entire A and B. There is no missing area or there is no missing portion. So combination of these three areas can be written as probability of A union B only. So this entire this combination of three terms can be written as the combination of three terms can be written as probability of A union B only. Okay, because each and every portion is covered in A and B. There is no missing portion. That's why you have to consider like this. So probability of A union B is equal to actually on the left hand side we have P of A plus P of B. On the right hand side, this entire combination of three terms can be written as P of A union B plus P of A intersection B. Okay, that is what written below, which is also written below. P of A plus P of B, left hand side is same. Okay, the combination of three portions can be written as P of A union B plus again we have P of A intersection B. Okay, but we want, according to statement, we have to prove what is the statement? P of A union B is equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. That is what we have to prove now. So from this statement, so P of A plus P of B is equal to P of A union B, P of A union B plus P of A intersection B. Okay, by taking this term to left hand side, you will get P of A union B is equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. Okay, we want P of A union B only according to statement. So P of A union B is equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. This term we have to take it to left hand side, then we can prove the statement very easily. Okay. Once revise this addition theorem on probability. I think it is clear, very easy to understand. There is no confusion in that. Okay, the statement is given here. This is also one of the properties of probability, sixth property. Okay, so to prove this, consider this diagram. To prove this statement, we have to consider the diagram like this, and we have to indicate the portions also. This first shaded area is A intersection B bar, second shaded area is A bar intersection B, and the middle one is common portion A intersection B. Okay, so first circle A can be written like this. Okay, here the first circle is divided into two parts, this shaded area and common portion. So first shaded area can be written as A intersection B bar. Next, common portion can be written as A intersection B. Okay, so by combining first portion and common portion, you will get A only. After applying probability, you can add the terms. Okay, similarly for B also, B means this entire second circle. This entire second circle is also divided into two parts. This shaded area and the common portion. This shaded area and common portion. So this shaded area can be written as A bar intersection B. Common portion can be written as A intersection B. So how can we write B? We have to combine the two areas. A bar intersection B union A intersection B. After applying probability, you can also add two terms. Okay. Now first we have got the expressions for P of A and P of B. Finally, we have to add P of A and P of B. Okay. After adding the P of A and P of B, we will get four terms. So among the four terms, first three terms represent A union B only. Probability of A union B. So first three terms can be written as probability of A union B. Plus again we have probability of A intersection B. Okay. So what is the final one? P of A plus P of B is equal to P of A union B plus P of A intersection B. Okay, so by taking this P of A intersection B to the left hand side, you will get the statement like this: P of A union B equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. Okay, is it clear? You can prove in your own way also. You need not to follow the exact sequence. Okay. Okay, this theorem is proved already. Next definition is conditional probability. What is meant by conditional probability? The name itself indicates that some condition has to be satisfied to calculate the probability of some event A or some event B. Okay, so here conditional probability definition is given for you. Definition is given for you and formula is written in the box. Probability of A given B. This slash can be called as given. This is technical term. You are not supposed to call this as a slash or by. Okay, don't call like that. This can be pronounced as probability of A given B is equal to probability of A intersection B by probability of B. This is the formula for calculating probability of A given B, conditional probability. Okay, this formula is correct if and only if probability of B value is not equal to 0, isn't it? If probability of B is equal to 0, what will happen? Denominator becomes 0. If denominator becomes 0, automatically the probability value becomes అవుతుందా? So probability of A given B is equal to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B. This formula is valid if and only if probability of B value is not equal to 0. Because if denominator is 0, probability becomes infinity. That is not a correct value because probability value lies in between 0 and 1, including 0 and 1. Okay, so probability value starts from 0 and ends with 1. Okay, the value must not be infinity. Okay, similarly you can write the another formula also. Probability of B given A is equal to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of A. Probability of B given A is equal to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of A. This formula is valid if and only if probability of A is not equal to 0. Similarly, here also the denominator must not be 0. If it is 0, probability becomes infinity, which is not a correct value of probability for finding probability. Okay, so these are the formula. How can we get these formula? The procedure is explained here. How can we calculate the conditional probability? Suppose the random experiment repeats for n times and a sample space has only two events, capital A and capital B. If event A occurs n of A times and event B occurs n of B times, and the joint occurrence of events n of A, B times. Okay, joint occurrence means we have to consider both the events A and B. Occurrence of both events A and B is n of AB times. Then the conditional probability can be calculated like this. Limit n tends to infinity n of AB by n of B. We have to divide both numerator and denominator with n. Okay, and split the limits also. Limit n tends to infinity n of AB by n by limit n tends to infinity n of b by n is equal to already according to relative frequency definition, the numerator can be written as p of a intersection b. Okay, the denominator can be written as probability of b. Okay, numerator can be written as probability of a intersection b, denominator can be written as probability of b. This is according to relative frequency definition. Okay, so the formula for conditional probability can be calculated very easily according to relative frequency definition. Okay, by using the method of relative frequency. Is it clear? Here we have considered two events, capital A and capital B. Okay, an event A occurs n of A times, an event B occurs n of B times. But what about the joint occurrence of events A and B? N of AB times. Okay, so according to relative frequency definition of probability, we can prove that and we can get the formula for conditional probability. Probability of A given B is equal to limit n tends to infinity n of AB by n of B. Okay, now you have to divide both numerator and denominator with n only, then split the limits also. You will get limit n tends to infinity n of AB by n in the numerator, limit n tends to infinity n of B by n in the denominator. So we can write P of A intersection B by P of B. Okay, so numerator is probability, again denominator is also probability according to relative frequency definition. Okay, so P of A intersection B by P of B. Similarly, in the same method, you can write the formula for P of B given A, which is equal to probability of A intersection B by probability of A. Okay, you can prove in the own way, in your own way. Formula for P of B given A can be proved in your own way according to the first one. First one is already proved. So in the same method, you can prove second one also. Okay, P of A given B is proved here. In the same way, you can prove P of B given A also. Okay. Next, Bhargav. Bhargav.
మేడం
నాది ఒకవేళ సైన్ అవుట్ అయితే
మేడం
లీవ్, సైన్ అవుట్ అయిపోతే లీవ్ అవ్వండి అమ్మా, ఎందుకంటే టైం అయిపోయింది.
ఓకే మేడం.
ఒకవేళ ఆగిపోతే పోనీ నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్లో చెప్తాను ఈ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్, లీవ్ అయిపోండి. 3 అయిపోయింది కదా. ఓకే, కింద ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఉన్నాయి ఫర్ ఫైండింగ్ కండిషనల్ ప్రాబిలిటీ అండ్ ప్రాబిలిటీస్. we can solve in the next class. I think there is no doubt in this class. Okay, in this class 3 properties of probability are discussed, and the remaining 2 definitions of probability like relative frequency definition and classical definition are also discussed. Next one, addition theorem on probability, that is also proved here. Next, conditional probability is also explained. So based on all these concepts, we will solve the problems in next class. Okay, Bhargav,
మేడం
you may leave.
ఓకే మేడం.